Hi beauties. Alright, first I'm going to take 2 hair clips and I'm going to pull my hair back away from my face so that I can start applying my makeup. Generally, when I'm wearing a white shirt or light colored pants, I like to take a towel and lay it across my lap, and I also like to get an old button down shirt and put that on over my white shirt to prevent any makeup getting on my clothes. Okay, since I have a clean face, I'm going to moisturize now with my Estee Lauder Advanced Time Zone Moisturizer. I've been loving this lately. It's been working pretty good. Next, I'm going to take my number 7 Beautifully Matte Primer, and I'm going to prime my forehead area and around my brows. I generally like to do this during the summertime because I tend to get very oily in my T-zone areas, and for some reason I get very oily on my brows as well. Next, I'm going to get my e.l.f. spoolie, and I'm going to use this spoolie to comb out my brows to get them ready for me to fill them in. Next, I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Pomade in Chocolate, and I'm going to use my e.l.f. angled brush. I'm going to follow the natural arch of my brows and just fill them in. I like for my brows to look as natural as possible, so I'm just going to continue this process and fill them in to my liking. Now I'm going to take the spoolie and go back in with it and kind of comb through my brows. This step is just to ensure that my brows look as natural as possible. Next, I'm going to take my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color Medium Beige. I'm going to use this to go under my brow to clean it up. I always like to use a color that's a little bit lighter than, well, that's 2 shades lighter than my skin tone, just to have a highlight under my brow. Next, I'm going to take an e.l.f. eyeliner brush, and I'm just going to use this to drag that concealer down midways on my eye, and I'm also going to use my finger to kind of just blend all of that out. Now I'm going to be taking another concealer, LA Girl Concealer in Warm Honey. This is a little bit closer to my skin tone, and I'm going to go across the top of my brow to clean that brow up even more and to kind of make it sharp. And I'm also going to go back in with that e.l.f. eyeliner brush, the same one, and I'm going to just brush that upwards and clean up the brow and also blend that out with my finger as well. Next, I'm going to take that angle brush that still has a little pomade on it, and I'm going to go and just go over the parts where I got concealer where it didn't need to be, and just kind of, fill it in just a little bit more, but I'm still focusing on keeping it natural. Next, I'm going to take my Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar Palette, and I'm going to go into the color Butter Pecan, and I'm going to use a flat e.l.f. brush, and I'm going to drag this on my brow bone and also down to the crease. Next, I'm going to take my e.l.f. eye primer, and I'm going to put this on my eyelid and in the crease area, and I'm going to blend that all in with my finger. Next, I'm going to use my Crown Crease Brush, and I'm going to go back into the palette into the color Peanut Butter and use that as my transitional color. I love this palette and I love that peanut butter color. It's the best transitional color ever. Next, I'm going to take MAC's Red Brick eyeshadow, and I'm going to put that in the crease as well. Next, I'm going to go back into that same palette using the color Truffle, and the brush that I'm using is a crown brush. It's the number C464, and I'm just going to use this color somewhat in the crease and on the outer corner of my eye. Next, I'm going to take my NYX Jumbo Pencil in the color Lime, and I'm going to put this all over my lid and blend it out with my finger. Next, I'm going to take my MAC Pigment in Golden Olive. I'm going to also use my NYX setting spray and a flat e.l.f. brush. I'm going to spray the setting spray on the brush, and then I'm going to dip the brush inside of the pigment. This helps for it to stick to the brush and for it to easily apply to your lid. Next, I'm going to be taking my Mary Kay blending brush and I'm going to be blending all of that out. Next, I'm going to take my number 7 Beautifully Matte makeup base and I'm going to finish priming the rest of my face using my e.l.f. foundation brush. Okay, now I'm going to take my Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse in the color Caramel Dark number 2. And I'm going to use my Real Techniques buffing brush and just buff all of this into my skin. And I'm trying to also apply a thin layer of this foundation because the weather in Houston has been very, very hot this summer. And you don't want to have on too much foundation when it's very hot outside. When putting on your foundation, you need to also make sure that you get your under your chin and kind of down towards your neck. You need to also make sure that you get your hairline area so that you have everything blended out well. You want this to look as if it's your skin, not to look as if you have on makeup or that you just step right out of a casket. Next, I'm going to go back in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in medium beige, and I'm going to do a little bit of highlighting. I'm going to go under my eyes. I'm going to go down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my forehead, and I'm also going to use it on my lower jawline as well. I'm going to take my MAC blush in Blunt and I'm going to use my e.l.f. Kabuki contouring brush and I'm going to use this to try to somewhat contour my face. Next, I'm going to take my Crown flat oval brush and I'm going to use that same blush to contour my nose. Next, I'm going to take a damp beauty blender. Please excuse the tears. It's a little bit ragged. But I'm going to blend out the concealer under my eyes and everywhere else that I applied it. Next, I'm going to take the Crown Large Foundation brush and I'm going to blend out where I contoured on my nose and on the halos under my cheek. Next, I'm going to take my e.l.f. translucent powder and I'm going to be using my e.l.f. kabuki brush and I'm going to apply this powder to the areas where I highlighted. It's going to look a little white and somewhat chalky, but I'm going to let it stay like that for a few minutes while I finish up on my eyes. Now I'm going to go back in with that slanted contouring kabuki brush by e.l.f. and I'm just going to go back over the areas where I contoured. Next I'm going to take my Rimmel Scandal Eyes Kohl pencil and I'm going to line my waterline. Next, I'm going to be going back into my semi-sweet chocolate palette and I'm going to take my e.l.f. smudge brush and I'm going to go in the color peanut butter and just smudge this across my lower lash line. Using that same brush, I'm going to go back into the palette into the color Truffled and I'm going to kind of blend that in with the peanut butter color and drag it to the outer corner of my eye. Next, I'm going to be using my e.l.f. concealer brush, going back into that palette, into the color Caramel. And that's just a really pretty gold color. And I'm going to use that for my inner tear duct. Next, I'm going to take my Crown Powder Dome brush and I'm going to just blend all of that translucent powder out on the areas where I highlighted. Next, I'm going to take my Dream Wonder powder in the color Honey Beige and I'm going to use my e.l.f. powder brush to finish setting the rest of my face. Next, I'm going to take my Maybelline Master Highlight in Deep Bronze in my e.l.f. brush and I'm going to use this to go down the bridge of my nose. Next, I'm going to take my e.l.f. Golden Bronzer and I'm going to be using a Crown Flat Bronzer brush and I'm going to take this over my high cheekbones. Next, I'm going to take my e.l.f. blush palette And I'm trying to decide which blush I want to use out of the pink or the little peachy color. And I decided to use the peachy color. So I'm going to take my Crown blush brush and I'm just going to apply the peachy blush. Next, I'm going to take my Estee Lauder Sumptuous Bold Volume Lifting Mascara and I'm going to apply this to my upper and lower lashes. Next, I'm going to take my NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray and I'm going to spray this all over my face and then I'm going to use my hand to act as a fan to kind of help it dry. Next, I'm going to take my NARS Audacious Lipstick in the color Jane and I'm going to apply this to my lips. But first, as usual, I'm going to wipe that lip balm off. Now, when you're applying your lipstick, you need to go very carefully on the outer part of your lips first to make sure that you don't get lipstick all over the outside of your lips and then go into the middle of it. I just love this lipstick. It's such a pretty orangey, peachy color. I just love it. Next, I'm going to take my Crown Miniature Fan Brush and I'm going to go back into that Master Highlight in Deep Bronze and I'm going to highlight my Cubix bow. So now we're all done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I also hope that it was very informative. I want to thank you all for subscribing, for liking, and for taking the time out to watch my videos. You guys are truly making my dreams come true. Thank you all. Bye, beauties.